Greetings again. I'm sorry I kind of ended a little too soon. This area is really, really rich. It's just got all of this kind of wealth around it. And it was funny sort of moving there from down and dirty, super down and dirty, Albuquerque. And with like a kind of a little bit of Kentucky for a minute, but this is all kind of just super super wealthy, and trying to kind of maybe give a feel for it. What was filmed there? Tales of Ordinary People, and that was this kind of really sad, beautiful sort of story about, I think, starring Donald Sutherland. And I think in that film there was like reason for it or whatever, but if you're looking for, for something a little bit more, because I think it was about someone who was suicidal, a young boy. But I think there was like a reason for it, like maybe his sister had died or something. But that is so odd. Here we are north of Chicago, and it was really this kind of just fairyland of, incredible mansions and that sort of thing, behind walls, so you can't really see too many of them, and really going on forever. And yet the kind of, everything is odd in this world. It had the highest suicide rate in the nation at that time. And here, this house looks familiar to me. I remember going to parties. I was not one of these people. My dad was just a poor minister, but you can see there's the tennis court in the front, the pool in the back. There were these places that the stairs would just go straight down into the water, and they looked like gothic romance novels. Just really crazy estates. And yet, oddly, here it is, the highest suicide rate in the nation. And it's totally safe, and people, just run around all the time and have these amazing times. That right there, I think, is the power station. It always seemed like it was a changing house or something with restrooms, but they did not go over with Con Ed back in the day, so they had their own thing going. And it's odd because just south in Chicago was the highest murder rate. And here we've got, Cook County Hospital. I don't know why it came up the parking garage, but down here in the south side of Chicago, you've got the Cook County Medical Center here. And this place is seriously no joke. It's huge, it's daunting, and it's where people come from all points. After graduating from high school, I came back to visit and had some real serious medical issues, and my insurance was kind of messed up. So I had a friend who said, "Oh, they never charge at Cook County, just go down there." And, it was just like the craziest experience ever. That looks fairly normal. It's like this old place from the 1800s that has just been sort of built around and built around and built around, over and over again. So it can look slightly more modern or normal on the outside, but inside it was a mess. But it's famous for having kind of actually like really good people who are getting degrees a lot of the times. You know, it might be like going to a hairdressing school. I don't know. But anyway, that was interesting because I remember going there and there was a prisoner in the room where I was that was, you know, needing to get some kind of procedure done. And when no one was sort of looking, he slipped a candy bar in his mouth. It was hilarious. He slipped a candy bar in his mouth, and it really would be a good scene in something like a Quentin Tarantino movie. Because after he slipped it in, they saw him chewing and he couldn't go ahead with the procedure. It meant that he didn't have to go back to jail, that he'd, you know, probably get lunch and dinner and stay a few days in the hospital before they could reschedule him. But he just had this like happy smirk on his mouth, you know, that he had really, figured it all out, and ha ha to everyone else. And, so I always just found that so interesting that here on the North Shore, you've got all these sort of kind of sad, suicidal people in this extraordinarily safe place. The one thing I miss about living there very much was walking around at night. It was just so well patrolled. You could just walk around all night in that particular area. And it's so weird that on the face of it, these people have it all. They've got these big mansions, and yet they're just doing all they can to off themselves. So with that, I bid you all adieu.